27. 26 knots, down the angle. 106, interval is a rhino at 5. Q.R.F. 207 on flat path on course 1 mile. Q.R.F. 207 on flat path on course.
In April 2006, the first elements of a battle group centred around the 3rd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, began arriving at Camp Bastion in Helmand Province, southern Afghanistan. Their arrival marked the start of 16th Air Assault Brigade's deployment to the region, but, as the unofficial history of Operation Ilois states, for the remainder of April and all through May, the remainder of the battle group began to arrive in packets. This was highly unsatisfactory, and Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Tootle, 3rd Battalion's commanding officer, chaffed at the manner in which his troops were being delivered to the theatre of operations. It seemed amazing that the RAF lacked the resources to fly 1,000 men and their equipment to Afghanistan in anything less than a month. By the 11th of May, the bulk of the battle group had deployed to Helmand, with its primary mission being the protection of the reconstruction efforts taking place in the centre of the province. Within a week, however, this mission slowly began to expand, as concerns from the governor of Helmand regarding Taliban activity in the north of the province compelled the British to send troops into this region to deal with this threat, which in turn resulted in considerably overstretching the battle group, as the unofficial history continues. Lieutenant Colonel Tootle really only had around 400 infantry to meet all the commitments thrown at him in Helmand, in an area of roughly 60,000 square kilometres, or yielding 1 soldier for every 150 square kilometres. It was a hopelessly inadequate number. Although fully aware of their deficiencies in manpower and holding reservations about the extension of their mission, the British committed themselves to the northern expansion, and on the 21st of June, a company of paratroopers was deployed to the town of Sangin. At around the same time, a platoon of Gurkhas from D Company, the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Gurkha Rifles, was deployed to Forward Operating Base Robinson, where on the 27th of June it was unexpectedly called into action. On that day, a force numbering 16 UK Special Forces operators, drawn from the Special Reconnaissance Regiment and from C Squadron, the Special Boat Service, had launched Operation Ilois and successfully captured 4 senior Taliban leaders alive. However, as this composite unit began to return to their Land Rovers, they were ambushed by a significantly larger Taliban force, estimated to have numbered up to 70 fighters. Immediately, the 16 men took cover in a nearby irrigation ditch and began returning fire, whilst one of them got on the radio to 3rd Battalion's Battle Group headquarters and requested for reinforcements. Unfortunately, given the secrecy of Operation Ilois, no one within the battle group had been informed of the mission prior to receiving this call for help, and as such, there was no dedicated quick reaction force ready to assist with the operation if necessary. Nonetheless, the platoon of Gurkhas at FOB Robinson was ordered to move with all possible speed to the site of the ambush and reinforce their counterparts in the S.B.S. and the Special Reconnaissance Regiment. After a short while, the Gurkhas arrived on the scene but were likewise pinned down by the weight of the Taliban fire, who had knocked out one of the Land Rovers with an RPG and still retained their numerical superiority. Realising this, and that their position could not be held, the Gurkhas sent another message to Battle Group headquarters, requesting for air and artillery support to enable them and the Special Forces to extract themselves out from the area. After the necessary arrangements had been made, artillery fire began to hit the Taliban positions, followed by the appearance of 2 Apache helicopters, 2 Harrier GR7s, and 1 A-10 Thunderbolt, which strafed and bombed the Taliban forces, thus enabling the British ground troops to withdraw back to FOB Robinson. On returning to the forward operating base, a head count was conducted to ensure everyone was present, during which it was discovered that 2 men were missing in action. Consequently, early the following morning on the 28th of June, elements of B Company, the 3rd Parachute Regiment, boarded an RAF Chinook and were flown back into what had been the ambush site to try and find the 2 men. After several minutes, 2 Apaches, which had been tasked with escorting the Chinook into the area, spotted 2 heat signatures near to the irrigation ditch and guided the British paratroopers onto their location. Sadly, the heat signatures turned out to be 2 bodies, which on the 4th of July 2006 would be identified as Captain David Patton and Sergeant Paul Bartlett, An investigation into the events of the 27th of June 2006 would later reveal that Sergeant Bartlett had attempted to reach the Land Rovers when he was cut down by enemy fire, whilst Captain Patton had become separated from the unit at some point during the ambush and had fought a last stand before he was tragically killed in action. In addition, it was learnt that Captain David Patton had been due to return to his home in Northern Ireland a week prior, but instead he had volunteered to remain in the theatre for an extra 7 days and continue to help out his colleagues. His wife, Paula, later commented, "I was buzzing with excitement about his return, impatient for the phone to ring, to hear his voice from the army plane, but that call never came.